Hello, 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 hello. I'm Lynn Browder, and I have a son, Owen, who is 13 and has autism. We paint together, working on his fine motor skills. He helps me paint the backgrounds, and then I paint the rest. We generally do what's called like a hand over hand method, but he's been doing a lot more of the motions himself, and so we kind of go back at the end and smooth out a lot of the edges, and depending on how he's doing or what he's doing, I'll let him do more of. He likes to do like a circular motion, so we'll do that. But he's come a long way, and I will go ahead and say I've come a long way, because I used to not paint because I'd never considered myself a painter. Perfectly imperfect paintings is now what I say. So painting has given me a lot, probably as much, if not more, than it has given Owen. He likes painting and doing crafts more now, but it's just being able to paint with him and do that kind of thing has really given me a lot, and it's a kind of a special thing for me, to be able to do this and just work with him, and then be able to share our story through our paintings. So the one yellow that I'm using is very runny, and one of the other yellows that I'm using is very thick, so I'm going to try not to drop the paint on my painting before it gets to the spot, but there's no promises, so we'll see. So, because I always put too much paint on my paintbrush. We shouldn't have this problem, but I do, because I put way too much paint on my paintbrush. So, Owen had a pretty good day. He went to his grandma's this morning for some time before we went to his therapy. We didn't go. He usually goes on Saturday, but we didn't go on Saturday because he woke up very early and he was very agitated. And I'm trying to get him to understand that I don't want him to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I want him to wake up, and we've set a time of 5:00, as he says. But I mean, I get that you can't sleep sometimes. The thing is, he's got to kind of remember that the mama, I have to sleep. I need sleep. I need to not be screamed at and woke up, just because he's awake, and he can have his tablet. I'd prefer, like I said, that he sleeps, but that's life. There are so many nights that I'm awake that if he told me I had to go back to bed, I would be, struggling to stay in bed without doing something or whatever. But it's just a matter of not excuse me, screaming or being mad about it. So that's the part that's so hard, is the just not allowing me to sleep when I'm exhausted from everything as well. So he that's why he didn't go on this past Saturday. So he had a wonderful time today, and he woke up very early, but he let me go back to sleep, and he had music therapy and vision therapy today. So that was a lot as well. But thankfully, he did great at his music therapy, and he did great at his vision therapy. So I was very excited about that. So, it's a learning and growing experience for both of us as time goes on, But just trying to add a little color, because when it dries, it'll kind of mush in there. So that's why I keep going over different parts of it, just to add a little different depth to it. So that is what we're doing today. So I'm going to sign O for Owen, since he helps me paint the backgrounds. And then L and B. So there we go. All right. Thanks so much for watching and being a part of our day. Toodles, toodles.